I hope you will share my story to give others, especially those who have yet been unsuccessful in manifesting their specific person after a long time. Hope, like your success stories on your channel, kept my faith alive. Please don't be discouraged, but finally I can tell you, like I one day imagined, I got my ex back almost 3 years apart, after 3 years. We were extremely happy for 6 years in a committed relationship heading towards marriage. However, the doubt set in, this is too good to be true. What if he leaves me? He is cheating. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. He'll end up leaving me. Thoughts kicked in so deeply that I can now look back and see how I built up the momentum of constant self-sabotage. And totally unaware, I brought the exact thing into my reality. What happened next, he changed towards me and eventually ghosted me while I was away, only coming back to get his things and tell me it was over. He was very upset but left that day. Oh, my world crashed. I proceeded to beg, plead, text, email, although he did on a few occasions over the following few months reach out and told me he missed me. He eventually told me he had cheated and it was choosing to be with her and there was no hope for us, period. Oh, the pain, the absolute agony I felt. I sank into a deep depression and loathed myself and felt so rejected that I'd managed to lose this one incredible relationship and he was not someone I recognized anymore. I was in pieces. I looked for help videos. Like most, I found the quick get your ex back, no contact, and spend time looking at forums that ended up making me feel worse. Excuse me, much worse. I cried. I had a near breakdown and I was spiraling out of control. Unlike some of your success stories, this went on for over a year and I could not get my mind on anything else. I was desperate and I had no concept of myself or the law of attraction, so unknowingly moved further and further away, from making any progress. I eventually found you, and although it took a while to really take in what you were saying, I began to realize slowly what I had brought into my life by focusing on the unwanted. Through your channel, listening to YouTube's Abraham Hicks, Neville Goddard, and reading Florence Scovel Shinn and many others, I again slowly but surely began to look at things from a new perspective, and maybe it took so long as I really had not realized the depth of my lack of self-love and my desperation. I know now and realize I was repelling what I wanted most, which was my SP. I found that Abraham Hicks' advice for just going easier for myself and soothing myself even when I felt bad made me feel a bit lighter. I read success stories, every one I could find, and when it seemed impossible to even get a text to say hello, I began to imagine this. But still I had no success, as I now know I was coming from a place of lack, not a place of faith. When I finally grasped this, I went for it. I spent many hours morning and evenings and free time after work and on yours and others' meditations, as well as beginning to try and take better care of myself. Little treats, days out, holiday, better thoughts, positive thoughts, and during this I felt a breakthrough. I finally no longer hated myself and became kinder, and it became a really amazing habit. I did affirmations on my drive to work, and I also the whispering technique, and I did scripting and Neville's before you sleep imagining methods. After many months, I reached out to him. We had occasionally friendly chats, but he still was with her, and sometimes I just feel like giving up. On these occasions, I'd surrender and let go, and that wasn't easy. But I'd say to myself, let go, and wished him well. Months would pass, we'd have the odd chat. He worked away in another country, and although I occasionally had the feeling he missed me, he never said the things I wanted to hear. I carried on with self-love, and I dove into scripting, which for me was working wonders. I am so happy and grateful now that I'd write in details of things I wanted him to say and imagined him texting, saying he missed me and loved me, and I did this often. Well, you can imagine, obviously guessing the rest. As I changed, he started to message me more than phone often, and one day after I asked him why he messaged me a lot now, he blurted out that he still loves me. He had never gotten over me. He was not in love with her. It was me he loved and always had. He just didn't have the guts to tell me, but had been trying for months to open up to me. Since that day, we've spoken every day, then met, and he has told me word for word some of the things I've always imagined. And another interesting fact is I looked at my diary. I scripted every day in my diary from a year prior, and having almost forgotten about it, read back, and it blew my mind as our first meeting after. All that time was as near as as damn identical. Doubters, stop your doubt. This is my imagination that turned into reality by pure belief. It took a long time, but I got there. We have since spent many of our days together, and we are both extremely happy and in love again. Believe people believe. I love this man, and more importantly, I learned how to love myself in the process. Like Agnes says, it's the foundation of any manifestation. Save yourself the time it took me, and do this first before any other techniques. When you are ready, sending out loving thoughts out to them, and do your affirmations, do yourself a favor and listen to Neville and be kind to yourself. Scripting was amazing. I'm my own experience, but do whatever makes you feel good, and also treat them as though they love you was another good one, and I always practiced and will continue. I was today wrapped in the arms of my SP. All I imagined, him telling me I was beautiful and he loves me and I created this. Me! I am so happy and so proud of myself. I could never thank you enough, Agnes, for you've given me this gift of self-love, and from now on, that is my priority in projecting loving thoughts only. I do self-love as part of my daily regime now, and I will never stop. Although he's back in my life, I will continue always. Love to you and everyone out there. Never stop believing. Thank you. And if your viewers have any questions, I'd be happy to email. You've said you, but do you mean them? I'm not sure. Dee, maybe you can answer comments in the threads then. All right, so there you go. Another wonderful How to Get a Specific Ex Back story from Dee.